You know, it's okay to disagree on some things as long as you work on the things that you agree with. And I think that's a really refreshing change from the Republican politics of John McCain and George Bush. So we really can make a difference, and we are going to make a difference. There are big differences in this race between John McCain and Barack Obama. Barack Obama does actually know how many houses he owns. One. And like most people in America, he thinks $5 million is really rich, not just a little rich. Basically, we have here a candidate who understands America, understands what it's like to grow up in a household with a single mom. And we have another candidate who has so many houses he can't keep track of them. This is a guy who's out of touch with America and with what America really needs. But there is more. The difference between Barack Obama and John McCain on Iraq is 98 years in Iraq. You know, the Republicans, it's true. And you know, the Republicans get all upset when I say that, and they say, well, that's not fair. He didn't say that. Well, I guess maybe he did say that, but he really didn't mean that. He meant that they weren't supposed to be there in combat. Well, first of all, if you think that our troops can be in Iraq for 98 years without being shot at or having IEDs put on roadsides, then I don't think you understand what's going on in Iraq. But the Republicans totally don't get what the American people's problem is with Iraq. We're spending $10 billion a month in Iraq. That money belongs here in America so that we can have decent schools, that students can go to school without being mortgaged up to the hilt when they graduate from school. So we can have health care for all Americans, so we don't have to pay $4 a gallon for gas. There is a big difference between Barack Obama and John McCain. There's a big difference between Barack Obama and John McCain on the economy. Leaving aside the houses and the affordable housing issues, what about the idea that you can continue to improve the economy by continuing to follow George Bush's plan? If you think the economy is improving, you should vote for John McCain because he thinks the economy is improving. But if you think the way to fix the economy is not to give $2 billion worth of tax cuts to ExxonMobil, then you should vote for Barack Obama because he understands middle-class people and working people. So there's a big difference on health care. John McCain thought it was a great idea to veto the children's health insurance programs. Barack Obama thinks we ought to have health insurance for everybody. John McCain calls that socialized medicine, which I guess means that everybody over 65 in this country has socialized medicine. You know, they've already taxed Social Security and said they should privatize that. Can you imagine what would have happened to Social Security in the last 15 months if it had been invested in the stock market and private accounts? There wouldn't be any, which I think is their secret idea, is to get rid of Social Security by privatizing it. And not content with that, they got to privatize Medicare so it's not quote-unquote socialized medicine. If folks over 65 have health insurance, then folks under 65 ought to have health insurance. But there, you know, we don't, you know, this is not the party that gives away money anymore. We're the party that actually balances budgets, unlike the Republicans. You know, George Bush and John McCain's motto is borrow and spend, borrow and spend, borrow and spend. They have created the largest deficits in the history of the United States of America. The largest deficits created ever in the history of this country, charged to your credit cards, the credit cards of the next generation. The truth is, you can't trust Republicans with your money. You cannot trust Republicans with your money. Only one president has balanced the budget in the United States of America in the last 40 years. His name is William Jefferson Clinton, and he is a Democrat. So, but health insurance is not just about doing the right thing for hardworking people who are suffering because they don't know what's going to happen if their kids get sick. Health insurance is a jobs proposition. How many of you all work in states where automobiles are made or automobile parts are made? A lot of people, right? We're losing those jobs not just to China. We're losing those jobs to Canada. And why are we losing automobile manufacturing jobs to Canada? because the Canadian government makes sure that every single worker up there has health insurance and the companies don't have to pay for it. So when then it goes up at 3 times the rate of inflation, they get more competitive and we get less competitive. If you want jobs in America, if you want to do something for small business in America, we need to have a health insurance system that works for everybody, just like every other industrialized democracy in the entire world has. This is not just a let's do this because it's right proposition. This is a let's do it because it saves jobs. And Barack Obama is a job creator and John McCain is a job killer, and we can do better than John McCain and George Bush.